Hey everybody, Mobile Gamers Unite. So, okay, first of all, we are enjoying all of the dumb luck that we managed to get today. Okay, I've been talking about increasing the strength of my top 5 heroes, and I'm at the point in the game where I'm blocked. I have to farm out feathers to finish out their bonds. Once you get a character bonded out to like 80%, you have to get these feathers. The only way to do that is to go through the story and finish out all those levels and farm those feathers out. So I started doing that today, and in the process, like along the way, I got 3 tickets and I think 200 crystals. So I said, hey, what the heck, why not? And I threw them, and sure enough, we got an SSR. Guys, I'm not kidding you here. I haven't even bought the $20 bundle yet that I said I was going to buy. I wasn't even really expecting this, but here, the bundle's still here. Alright, this is like just completely dumb luck. Here it is. Huge Trinity voucher gift box just sitting there waiting for me to get when I get around to it. Okay? But for now, we have already been given Sigma. Alright? And the reason I'm making a video about Sigma is because he is important. He does need to be talked about because the first step to getting your ass sniped by Sigma and taken out and getting destroyed by him is underestimating him, which is what everybody is doing right now, okay? The first thing that you'll hear is... Here, let me find this guy first. Here he is. The first thing you will hear about Sigma is, okay, he's a fusion buffer for Ules, and Ules needed a second fusion buffer. Okay, that is the whole purpose of that. It's not to have a super powerful fusion power. Okay, and let me explain that. If you go to Summit Arena right now and you try to run Landius, he's going to be benched. Okay, it's like the first unit that your opponent benches is Landius, just in case you're trying to run a Ules team. I know. I just got done playing a Chinese whale, and the first thing he did is ban my Landius, which, didn't really bother me because my Landius on my main account was only like 3,000 power level. Needless to say, it was a very good match because I did get to bring my A-game team. I got to bring my Bernie, that's at 6,000, and it was a pretty good match. This guy was super whaled out, and I think he was just happy to find anyone that would even, stand up to him and give him a challenge. So that's the way I interpreted his stickers. So the victory did go to him, but it was a close match, and I wish I could give this guy props, but his name is a symbol. Okay, I couldn't even pronounce it. I couldn't even draw it. It was a Chinese symbol. The dude was a super whale. Yeah, man, Ledden kicked hard. I should have banned his Ledden. Okay, so this is what Sigma brings to the table. Is if you're taking him to Summit Arena, now if they want to stop a Ules fusion, not only do they have to stop Landius, now they have to worry about this guy bringing a fusion for Ules, okay? And actually his fusion's really not that bad for him. What it is as long as you have more hit points than your enemy, you're going to get 15% more damage. Now, really think about this. For this character in particular, the way that he is, he's a sniper. So, pretty much he's always going to have more health than you because he's probably going to be able to tag you first before you get to even do anything. So, right there, his health's going to be higher than yours. Again, it's not the best, most concrete fusion power, but it is a fusion power, okay? And one to a fusion family that only had one buffer before this. So he's important just because of that. But if you're not trying to run Summit Arena and you're not really worried about that, does that mean this character is completely a waste? Actually, no, it does not. Sigma here has some really, really crazy sniping potential, okay? This is just like my sneak peek at him, okay? I'm trying to build somewhat of a build for him right now just so I can take him out and use him. But reading through his skills and abilities, I can already tell you if you're fighting against one of these guys, you really need to research him so that you have a chance. Because what's going to happen is he's going to confuse you and then he's going to snipe the shit out of you if you don't know how he works, okay? This guy has a couple of very niche things that apply to him. Like, the one move he has, if he's further away from you, it does more damage. Stuff like that is important to remember. And if you look at, first of all, let's look at his talent. For 1 turn, cannot be dispelled. Oh, that's the very bottom of it. Sorry. Let's start at the top. Okay, how about that? Get your stuff together, Vlad. When attacking, which he's going to be doing a lot because he's a sniper, attack increases by 5%, and that goes up. And that's nice because I'd rather have attack increase than damage increase. Okay? If you haven't attacked this round, you are on a defense increasing terrain. So like a forest or a mountain, anything that increases your defense. Okay? You can take 1 additional action. At the same time, obtain the snipe status. Unit's range increases by 1. Cannot move. Lasts for 1 turn. I actually absolutely love that. His range increases by 1. Okay? And then apparently this can't be dispelled. And then he can act again. So he's going to have time to get the job done. Because what he's going to do is he could just do a normal attack on you, and then he could move back, and he could use strong wind snipe. Okay? Pretty much this starts at a base of 0.8 damage, and it can hit somebody 4 blocks away. Alright? And if you are 4 blocks away, for each block, damage increases by 15%, up to 90%. Yeah. So what I've heard is that this breaks down to like 1.7% damage. And if I'm wrong on that, somebody correct me, please. I would really like to know what this all translates into. But I can even tell just by looking at this is going to translate into a decent amount of damage. Because he's also going to get to go again. And he's going to be in cover while doing this. Okay, because the thing with this guy is for 1 skill point, you get Ranger's Heart. Active skill. Terrain you are standing on will be regarded as forest, which will give you a defensive bonus, and which will also trigger Solitary Will and all of this guy's fun stuff. Okay? So what you're standing on lasts as forest for 1 turn. It counts as forest for 1 turn, sorry. Can attack again after use. So you can run up, use this, now you're standing on forest, and now you get to do your attack. At which point you can do, Solitary Will kick in, because, you're standing on terrain. You can do Strong Wind Snipe, do a shit ton of damage on somebody, and then Wind Snipe even increases your mobility by 2, so you have a chance of getting away. Say you don't finish somebody off, well, you can try to get the hell out of Dodge. It definitely helps. So this character, I'm really going to have to play him to really be able to see the synergy in his skill kit and how it all plays together. Okay, so he's definitely one of the a little more complicated characters. Alright, because he also has neutralizing fire. Attacks a single enemy dealing damage equal to 1.25. So he's going to do a quarter more damage than normal. When you are on defensive terrain, which again, he can be on defensive terrain anytime he wants to with Ranger's Heart, and it only has a 2-turn cooldown. But if you are on defensive terrain, you deal fixed damage once before battle begins. Damage is equal to 1 times the hero's attack, meaning that dragons will take this damage. Pretty much everything will take this damage. So that's really cool, okay, that he can do that. This move is only a 2-block range, but I think this is kind of like his little shotgun blast. Like, if you get too close to me, I'm going to hit you with the neutralizing fire. And hopefully that's enough to do you in, So, but the main use of this character is you're going to want to try to stay away, and you're going to want to try to use Strong Wind Snipe, okay? Now, as far as runes and equipment, we can look at my equipment. I put some boots on him because I do want him to have some movement that can be, changed around. So a lot of people are going to say put clock on this guy because you're going to want to be able to use that wind snipe ability a bunch of times. I get that, and I fully see that, okay? And your clock probably is a good idea for this guy. But my whole thing is you need this guy to be able to one and done people. he needs to be able to do people into the dirt. He's got to be able to put people down, because if they retaliate, he's probably going to die. So my whole thing is with, well, let me first of all tell you guys why I went with magic on him. That is because my Wind Cutter Dagger already had magic on it, and it's got 13% attack, and it's got 18 attack. Not the best in the world, but definitely pretty good for him, okay? And it's given attack and skill, which are this guy's is A stat. Which is important to note, because I don't think this guy has an S stat, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But I think he gives up having an S stat because of all the nifty things he can do with terrain, and you're going to get so many bonuses from being able to use terrain with him, and always having terrain, and having all these snipe abilities, getting +1 to your range. Yeah, all of that kind of adds up to him not really needing an S stat, because this guy, he's going to be working from the shadows. Yeah, of course, you want his attack and his skill high. They're both A stats. And magic defense too, in case you get some magic thrown your way. So I get that. Okay? So that is why I chose to go with magic on him. A lot of it had to do with the Wind Cutter Dagger, but my ideology is magic will increase the damage of your skills by 10%. AoE increased by 5, but this guy doesn't really AoE, so that doesn't matter. But you know what? Skill damage increased by 10%, that does work for this guy, because he is throwing some heavy skill damage, and that 10% might just be enough to finish your target off. And then you can wait 4 turns for this to cool down, and then you can run around and just snipe people with your normal attack, with your +1 range when you're standing on forests. You know, those 4 turns will go by pretty quick, and then you can snipe somebody else. That's the way I see it. But to me, I personally think that you're either going to put magic on this guy or clock. I totally see people putting clock on him and just trying to spam the shit out of that, what's it called? His snipe ability. Wind Snipe, okay? Rightfully named so. Strong Wind Snipe. I'm sorry, not just Wind Snipe. This is strong Wind Snipe. Right, okay. So, this is Sigma in a nutshell. Alright, he is not the worst character at all, and he could definitely be a hard-hitting PvP character. And also, he gives you less another faction buffer, which, you know, I could see somebody banning this character from Arena just because of that. Or if somebody bans your Landius, well, at least you can, you know, get this guy in your party, and you can still have a faction buff for Yles and get those stats. That's what's important. So he brings that to Yles. He is also part of Zarita's faction, Meteor Strike, which I don't really play because I don't have a Zarita, the one character I don't have. Well, besides, Lamba. I like to call her the Lambada. I don't know if any of you know, but the Lambada is like a really old dance and song. Anyway, he also belongs to the protagonist. So, you know, if you got this guy, you can have Matthew drop a fusion, and you can have this guy run around as a ranger. And, yeah, he will be taking people out for you. This guy is a flyer's nightmare, pretty much. So, another thing to kind of look forward to there. He can get Gladiator, and then he becomes the Vindicator. And that is how you get the Yles buff. I chose not to go this way because I want to see what he can really do as a sniper, and I want to kind of make a video of that. I will be using Landius as a fusion buffer, and then I will be testing out his ranger abilities. Because if you're going to run this guy, you're probably going to want to run him as a ranger and use Wind Snipe and all that fun stuff. I mean, these things have their own mechanic, they're fun, and I'd really like to see how this character works as a ranger. That's what's interesting to me. Gladiators, we got them, okay? What's cool, though, is this is nifty. The Savage attack, this is a shield bash. Attacks a single enemy dealing damage equal to 1.2 damage. when you are on defensive terrain, which this guy is on defensive terrain all the time, okay, cast stun on the enemy before battle begins, last one turn. So if you're standing in the forest, this counts as stun, and it's going to do the 1.2 times damage. This is good. This is really good. This is what's going to help him stun somebody, then get some distance away from them, and start sniping the shit out of them the next turn. So this is very important. This can stop this guy from dying. You know, it's somebody's coming in, they're going to take you out next turn. Hey, I can make it so that I'm standing on a forest even if I'm in a desert, and I can shield bash this person. Then I can back up, and then I got a turn to shoot at him with my highest damage ability. So that works out well, okay? I'm glad they gave him something like that. Of course, other than that, he gets passives like Attack Break, but really, you're probably not going to be bringing that stuff. Your one skill point skill that you're going to want to run around with is going to be Ranger's Heart, because you can stand in a forest anytime you want to and act again, and this is only a 2-turn cooldown. Unless you're in a level that is literally nothing but forest already, where you're always going to have your forest buff, then okay, I could see taking Ranger's Heart out and putting something in that'll make you attack just a little bit harder, or let's see, what does he get over here? Sneak, okay? When initiating battle, crit increased by 10%, damage taken decreases by 20. Hey, that's not bad to have. 10% more crit and 20% less damage. That's pretty nice for him, okay? So there's a couple different ways to build him, but you're pretty much going to be building a very nasty Ranger. And as far as soldiers, this is where he gets interesting, and this is where he can be very nasty in PvP. He's got the Shinobis, okay? Great. They increase his crit, and when he crits, you deal extra damage, and it is based off of your enemy's hit points, and it's a pretty decent percentage, because I think my Shinobis are like level 7, so it's 14%, okay? This is not going to hurt a dragon, though, because that 14% is based off of the enemy's health. It's not based on your stat. And then he has the Firebrand Snipers. When attacking, attack increases by 18%, which does make the attack higher than the Shinobis. I don't know what level I got these guys. I think the Firebrand Snipers are only like level 5 or 6. So these are primarily for arena, because on top of dealing 18% extra damage, you are going to deal fixed damage that's 9% of the enemy's hit points. That is every time you attack with these guys. That's not when you crit, like the Shinobis. Okay, so you're guaranteed that 10% of the enemy's hit points fixed damage just every time you attack. So right here, between the Shinobis and the Firebrand Snipers, these are some of the best PvP soldiers to take with you if you're running a Ranger. Okay, and this guy has them. He can also run Leviathans. Maybe you're going out to sea. I don't know, Leviathans can be pretty gnarly if you actually factor in how much more damage they do when they're in the water. And I put stock into Leviathans so that units like Lester can take them for Guild War. So, you know, my Leviathans are a decent level, nothing to spit at. So, which pretty much brings us to the moral of the story, is that really Sigma shouldn't be spit at. Okay, you really don't underestimate this guy. If you see him in arena, you might really want to research this guy if you plan on fighting him. There is a use for him in this game. Okay, obviously people are trying to pull Lambada, Lama, whatever her name is. I'm really not that upset about getting Sigma, because I do see him as being fun to play. And hey, you guys know me. I like characters that bring different mechanics. And this whole wind snipe thing, it all looks just like a big ball of fun to me. So I cannot wait to see how this works out. This whole defensive stance, +1 to your range, extra damage, you can act again after this. I can't wait to see how this guy actually plays out. All I did was level him up and level his class up. He's not bonded at all, so he's coming in at 3,000 power level with just the most basic of gear. I don't even have like really good, other than the wind cutter dagger, everything else just kind of has half-ass enhancements on it. And my boots are level 1. And the enhancement's given 3% hit point and 1% attack. So if I work on this guy, I could definitely, I mean, I could see him getting to 4,000 power tonight if I wanted to. But I am going to run him. I'm going to see how he does in Guild Wars. I'm going to be paying close attention. And this is just kind of like my sneak peek and my first impressions of this character. He's not a waste. This is definitely a good character, and if you don't watch out, he will snipe the shit out of you, and you won't even know what happened, unless you know how this character actually works. So, I'll be coming at you guys in the future with a video exactly pretty much how he works. I will showcase how he works, and it might be something interesting, or it might be just something useful that you might want to know in case you actually ever have to go head-to-head with this guy. You're going to want to know how he plays and how he acts. When the enemy's setting him up to drop a nuke on you, you're going to want to see that, and you're going to want to know what's going on. Oh, he's setting up over here. I need to get the hell out of Dodge, or whatever you need to do. So this is one of those characters that has a unique play style, and everybody might want to take a quick note on how this character's played so they can counter him in the future, or potentially play this character yourself. Okay, so that's what's going on with our dumb stroke of luck today. Maybe we'll get Lambada. Yeah, okay. Maybe we'll get her. Like I said, I still have my the 22 summons that I'm gonna get, so we will see. But Mobile Gamers Unite, I wanted to put this out there, because people are pulling these characters right now. Hey, if you got this guy, I don't want to hear anyone complaining about it, because he is a badass character, all right? So if I've missed anything, if anybody wants to add anything, please leave me a comment, let me know. Hit like, hit subscribe, okay? Everybody have a nice day, and remember, I'm always one click away. Peace.